In 2001, Nintendo finally gave us a true successor to the Game Boy, the Game Boy Advance. This came out in 2001. It was a massive step up to the Game Boy in terms of graphics, sound, you name it. One of the best things about the Game Boy Advance was it had the Z80 chip that was in the Game Boy Color. So that meant that all your Game Boy and Game Boy Color games will work on the Advance. But there was one problem with the Game Boy Advance. No backlit screen. There was very good battery life. I think the battery life to the Game Boy Advance was like 10 to 15 hours, but the fact that Nintendo released a non-backlit handheld in 2001 is just ridiculous. A lot of companies released these worm lights, and they were meant to kind of resolve that issue. But the problem with the worm light was you will get a glare on the screen. And a lot of people didn't want that. A lot of people want like a true backlit Game Boy Advance. So a lot of people just said no to the worm light. In 2003, exactly 15 years ago, Nintendo made a new Game Boy Advance. And it was to eliminate all the problems that a lot of people had with the Game Boy Advance. And this is, in my opinion, one of the greatest handhelds of all time. The Game Boy Advance SP. It has all the same hardware as the Game Boy Advance, including the Z80 chip, so all your Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games, which this game turned 15 years old, will all work, and of course color games will all work on the SP. So as you can see, the big difference was they went with a clamshell as opposed to the Y format. Very unique for the time, and it kinda was like a premonition or a foreshadow to the Nintendo DS. The big selling point of the SP was not only for its portability, but it was lidded. You had a light in it, which I'll show off in just a few minutes. That's because there's something about this model in particular. And it opens up and closes like a notebook, so it protects the screen so your screen won't get scratched. One of the best things about the SP was it ran off a lithium-ion battery. Not only were you going to get great battery life, like around 10 to 15 hours, it also came with its own rechargeable battery. So, rechargeable battery, you don't need batteries anymore. The only problem with the SP, other than, very strangely, there's no headphone jack, was that the screen was not backlit. Although that the screen was lit, it was only front lit. So, what I meant was, when the screen would have been lit, there would be like a blue tinge to it. So it kind of washes out some of the colors. They finally fixed that in 2005 with the Game Boy SP AGS 101. And this is the model I have right here. As you can see, AGS 101. This is the one that has the backlit. And this is what many consider the greatest Game Boy ever made for its ridiculous sharp backlit screen. Look how bright that is. Super crisp and clear. If you're wondering how to spot the difference of the SP and the 101, first is the screen. The screen is very pitch black, so that's your first sign that this is a 101. The AGS 001, which are the frontlit models, they have a kind of like a whitish screen a little bit. Another difference is it kind of tilts a little bit more than the AGS 001. But that's the main difference. It's not only for the screen, but also to look at the back and it says AGS 101. So yeah, this came out right around the time the Game Boy Micro came out. While the Game Boy Micro was backlit, it lacked the Z80 chip, which means you can't play Game Boy or Game Boy Color games. Let's just say even if you try to mod it and try to get these games to work, it still wouldn't work because the Z80 chip is gone. Now, a lot of people, as much as a lot of people like the SP, some don't really like the form factor to it. A lot of people kind of miss the original form factor of the original Game Boy Advance. There's a popular mod where a lot of people would take the screen of the AGS 101 and they put it on the original Game Boy Advance, and you ended up getting a backlit screen with the original model. A lot of people consider that to be like the ultimate Game Boy, but the only problem is you're not going to have a rechargeable battery, so that means you're going to go through batteries pretty quickly, unfortunately. But still, it's a pretty popular mod. But anyways, about the SP. The SP are very common. You can find SPs so easily nowadays because when the SP came out, this pretty much became the official model, the official must-have Game Boy Advance rather than the original because of its portability. You know, it fits nice to your hands, and it's just overall a very good, well-built handheld. Unfortunately, you're going to try to get the backlit models, you are going to pay a lot more for them. The AGS 101s are a little bit more harder to find because they came out so late into the Game Boy Advance's lifespan. They came out late 2005, while the original SP came out 15 years ago in 2003, March 23rd. However, though, if you can't find the AGS 101, I still recommend the 001 because it was still a monumental improvement over this model because this model only has no light. Although the front lid kind of washes out some of the colors, they're still very good for Game Boy games, especially if it's in black and white. So if you can't find the SP101, I still recommend the 001, especially the Flame Red. The Flame Red SP original is freaking gorgeous. If you find the SP Flame Red, go pick it up. It's such a gorgeous color. But anyways, I'm going to show you a few games off. Kind of amazing that Sapphire came out right when the SP came out. So let's test out Mortal Kombat 2, shall we? Let's see if I can get a good look. Okay. And there it is. And of course, I can stretch it out. I'll be Scorpion. So yeah, this is Mortal Kombat 2 in the Game Boy, and you'll actually be very surprised on how well this version actually kind of plays. Even though it's like an 8-bit version, it plays pretty decently. In a minute, I'll test out Ninja Turtles for you guys, because I think that's a very underrated Game Boy Advance game. So I'll show that off in just a few minutes. I'm just going to play one match of this. Alright, finish him. We'll do Fatality. So yeah, you can do Fatalities. That's so cool. Alright, let's go test out Ninja Turtles now. So, once again, not only you can play Game Boy Color games, you can also play Game Boy Advance games. Hopefully you can see it, because the screen is super bright. I'm just going to get right to the action. So yeah, this is Ninja Turtles. This game is basically a simple beat 'em up. It's very good. If you like Turtles in Time and Hyper Stone Knights and all the other Ninja Turtles beat 'em ups, you're going to absolutely love this game. This game is very good. The music's also really good too in this game. Alright, that's about enough. Let me, I'll switch to Raphael because I think Raphael has the better campaign. And besides, you fight hooligans rather than mousers. It's just... So, but yeah, this game plays very, very well. But yeah, that's the Game Boy SP. I can't believe this handheld has turned 15 years old. It's unbelievable. But yeah, if you find an SP, I recommend picking it up. It's just a very good handheld. You get all the Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games, all with a lit screen. Even if you can't find the backlit model, I still recommend getting the front lit model. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and this is Video Game Lover 58, signing out. Peace.